So we're going to go ahead and get started on the next section. I would like to give you guys a choice, okay? Would you guys like to get in and kind of see a little demo, or would you like to kind of build and break some stuff? Because I want to show you this is kind of a process that we do things. Let's do a demo, okay?
Yeah, let's do a demo.
Let's do a demo. All right, awesome. So I'm going to be here. My head might be slightly down because I have to look at the computer, but you're going to be able to watch and just kind of have some fun. What I'm going to do is I have a couple images that Heather helped me prep, and I needed to load them for this class, and I didn't get a chance. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in there, and I'm going to make a quick little item, and then I'm going to start adding some photos to it, okay? That's going to be one of the first things I'm going to do. And as far as a demo, what I'm going to do is, as I'm using Adilas, I need to do this just because I needed to get this prepped, but it's actually going to be sort of part of the demo, like what can you do with Adilas? What happens? What are things that are going to be going on, okay? So this is real live. I need to load some images in so that you guys can, so I can give you some visuals. So I landed on the Adilas.biz main homepage, and automatically I'm ready to log in, okay? So you create, if everybody will end up having a username and password. And we log in. Now if you only have one corporation, you skip this page, okay? But if you have multiple corporations, like say for instance, my mom has her little herb business and then she's also doing something else and something else, she might have 3 or 4, okay? Or she might skip this and just go right into her own little pocket, okay? What this does is a user, we have these things called corporations, okay? And a corporation is a business entity, some sort of business entity. The only thing that's bigger than a corporation is a user. How does that work? I thought the corporation is big. Guess what? The corporation is big, but it's not very mobile. But a user can bounce from corporation to corporation to corporation. Chris, how many different people do you work for? Like as far as like doing books and stuff like that?
Dozen.
Okay, so for her example, she becomes bigger than the corporation because she is able to move and do stuff. So the user is able to bounce. I'm going to go ahead and click on here, and I'm going to select Adilas. Just so you know, as you pop into something, it changes the look and feel. Like this is the home page that I chose for me, for my Adilas account. If I popped into a different one, just for a quick visual, this is a small little car shop that's up in Denver. It's a little import shop, and basically you can see that the look and feel kind of changes, and it just kind of allows you to do stuff like all of the different pieces may look different depending on which corporation you're in. There's a lot of different interfaces that you can choose from. I'm going to switch real quick back to Adilas, and we will add a new little thing. So this is the quick search right here that David said, hey, I like this thing because I can bounce anywhere. It has a little box, and it has a bunch of little things, balance sheet items, checks, clients, deposits, expense receipts, flex grid, invoices, etc. So what we're going to do right here, I'm just going to type in new, and I'm going to say a balance sheet item, because I'm just going to add some photos to a little thing. We're going to end up making it inactive. You won't even see it, but I just want a spot to store some quick little pieces here. We'll just come in here, and I'll just kind of really quick say, hey, we'll just call this an inventory thing, and I'll call it class photos. And we'll just pop through here. We'll just leave all of this just basically as it is. And I'll just say add the item. Once the item's added, it automatically created this little thing. And I have a little link right here that says add edit photos. So I'm going to just kind of click on it. And I'll browse to where I have these little images at. And I just stuck them underneath a little folder here. So this is the exact same one that we basically just did for the demo that I just did right there, okay? It just uploaded a little picture for me. And now if I want, this is just the picture that says, hey, I uploaded it. Here was your original size. Here's your compression value. It's just kind of tech talk type stuff. But if I wanted to click on the view gallery, for my balance sheet item 13, I now have a little thumbnail that automatically knows that I have an image. And I'm starting to build a gallery right here, okay? I'm just going to keep clicking through here, add edit photo. I'm going to just do the next one. Browse. I'm going to grab boots and shoes. These are just some small little things that I wanted to show you guys as far as like some of the analogies that I was going to give. So basically it's just adding image number 2, it's coming in, it's just kind of helping me to pop through this little thing. I'll just kind of quickly go through it, I won't keep talking per se. Back to the photo management page, right here I'm already starting to get my images that are lining up as far as what's going on. Brick wall, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Pretty easy. I'm just basically back and forth, just adding these little images, and it just allows me to kind of burning platform. We're going to talk about that.
Can you add a bunch at once?
You cannot, and that's a great question. Currently, a lot of things that actually happen with Adilas is we are writing on what's called a web browser. Okay, and so it doesn't mean that we can't, but what it means is that the browser does not exist on this machine. You are physically talking with an entity that maybe it could be foreign. Okay, currently our main servers are in Arizona, but basically because we're on a web technology, we have to play catch. Okay, so let's, Steve, just for a second, if I'm a user and I say server catch, Steve, catch that piece of data. He does whatever he does, he crunches it, and then somehow he has to give me a response back. I have to sit here and wait until he throws it back. That's how web works. Okay, you have to have a server and it has to throw and catch, throw and catch, throw and catch. So that's how you're actually playing. So what we're doing is we're just kind of adding these things. Just if I wanted to, just to show you what we're building right now, it's already beginning to populate my gallery so that as I click on things, it's automatically creating my different images and different pieces of my puzzle.
Can I back you up for a second?
Absolutely, sure.
Your very first step that got you here to balance sheets photo gallery.
No problem.
How did you get here?
No problem. So basically what I did is I knew that I had a tool called a balance sheet item. I also knew that it contained a photo gallery. And so all I wanted to do was I was like, I'm just going to create an object, and the object is then going to start holding data. Okay? You're going to hear this concept a little bit later on, but it's called a one-to-many relationship. We have an object that gets created, and then all of a sudden I have to start stacking stuff in this container. Here's how I got here. I was at the very, very home page, and it actually looked like this. It didn't have anything. This was called a miniature quick search right there, okay? The one that David originally used, I'm going to back up for just a second. Okay, that little piece right over there is called the quick search, okay? You have a search box, and you have a number of different items. What I did was I used a keyword that's called new. There are tons of ways around the system, okay? Please don't be like, okay, I have to do it like this every time. If you wanted to know how to create new balance sheet items, I could probably tell you about 3 different ways right now, okay? So don't be too focused on that. We will get more into that. What I'm doing right now as far as for the demo is just kind of trying to blast it in there just so you can kind of see the system in action a little bit, okay? What I did was I said new, and then it basically, I can type it in, it won't hurt it a bit. New balance sheet, go. And basically I said, oh, hey look, I'm in the add edit balance sheet items page, and at the bottom of my page it'll say add item, right there where my mouse is. Okay,
Got it.
That's how I created that original
I
kind
missed
of.
the word new and I couldn't get where you were.
Yeah, so
Good.
basically I created a new item to hold my pieces. So what I'm going to do right here is I know that my last balance sheet was either called class something. I remember seeing an ID number of 13. I can use this quick search to get right back to it. Because currently, I'm in an add new mode right here, okay? I could either go to the balance sheet homepage. I could say balance sheet all. Like there's a number of cool keywords, and it's actually documented. So like you don't have to remember all this stuff type thing. And as you get into it, you'll love it. But if I remember 13, say I type in 13 right here. 1, 3, and I hit enter, it pops me right into this balance sheet item that's number 13, okay, of where we were working for. I could also do the exact same thing. Say I was at a totally different spot, and say I remember that it had the word class in the name of this balance sheet item. I could go like this, class. Oh, there it is, that's it. And then I say, yeah, let's go to the details and line items. Boop. Like it's tons of different ways around it. But basically, that little thing, and once we start talking about it, it'll make more sense, okay? You literally have different little spots that you can jump to all the time. It's called your quick search. And that's just for the demo, that's what I was doing. Did I answer your question?
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to add just a couple more quick little photos here, just to make sure we got them all. The last one I did was the burning platform. Just going to browse, and we're going to do the game of golf. I'm giving away all of my secrets. You guys are going to be like, okay, yeah, we've already heard that one before. But I just want you to see how quick and easy it is. We're basically just bouncing around, and I'm just adding little items. Click, 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 click. Piece of cake. You browse your local system. You click on something. You say load it in. If I wanted to add something in here, let me actually, I can't even remember which one this is. But if you wanted to add linear with permissions, I'll go like this. Made by Heather. She actually drew this particular one. She's like, oh, don't tell him that. she drew that one. But anyway, if I go to the gallery, because I added a new description to this particular one, when I click on it, it automatically will pull in any sort of information. So it's dynamic as far as like, if you add something to it, like say you're documenting a tax return, or you're documenting, you got this funky scan of so-and-so and you had to pay this bill and you're like, oh, this looks really questionable. I would scan it, you got the visual copy. I would also say, I received this in the mail and it was to the previous owner and you tell the story, okay? So these description fields allow you to kind of help tell that story. And later on, you can search them and it helps you to remember what's going on.
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna add just a couple quick more and then we will go on. So the last one I did was linear with permissions. How many of you guys like Pringles? I like Pringles. There's my Pringles. Wow. That's, have you ever heard of this thing called food storage? No, just kidding. We are going to talk about that because this is actually kind of fun. Here's one with smoke and mirrors. Actually, Craig helped me with this one last night. We were putting this little image together just for fun. And I'm almost done with this little piece.
This is just stuff you didn't get home yet at home.
I didn't get this done at home, so last night I was up a little bit late, but I'm just doing the piece. What I'm trying to show you is I'm just popping through here right now, and it's basically just allowing me to do my things. What we did is we created an object. I just added 11 photos to this little object here, okay? I have a max of 100, but I could add any item that I want. Invoices, they can have photos. Expense receipts, like what you're paying your money out, they can have photos. Stock units, big serialized inventory, they can have photos. Your parts and your widgets, they can have photos. POs can have photos, customers can have photos, etc., etc., etc. Like, for instance, say somebody came in and they're your new customer and they had to sign a certain document, a release or whatever. You could easily just scan it, attach it to the customer, and all of a sudden you have the perfect paper trail. And that customer, even if they come back, you'd be like, your documentation? You can just click on one little thing, and all of a sudden you're like, here's a for instance. Say we're somewhere else again. Let's go, we'll tell you what, I will just go home, and we'll just click on customer logs. Here's some people that we just barely did some different little logs for. Say I'm on a customer right here, and I look right up here and it says, hey, I do not have a photo for that little one. If I do any sort of search, and I find it, often I will be able to find exactly, like say I do the class again, boom, and I see this little photo, I'm able to click right on it and I can go right to whatever it is that I uploaded for that particular person. There's tons of different little links and different ways to kind of get around the system. Okay, so this was my job. I needed to do this. If I click on anything, it basically brings it up into a bigger version of it. So we do all of this behind the scenes for you. So as you upload your stuff, you don't have to look at these big monsters. You have a little thumbnail gallery, and then you're able to kind of click into some stuff like that. Okay, are we ready for kind of like more of a real type demo? What we're going to do is always, when you come to Adilas, you land on what's called a home page. And this is exciting. Like if you're old to Adilas, you might be like, this is what you are used to seeing right here. This is called the classic homepage, and what this particular one does is it builds on the fly. okay? So it might look like it has tons of stuff. I've got tons and tons of permissions turned on. Say for instance, see this one right here, the password and profile? If I didn't want that to show up, I would just be able to go right here, and it's all permission based. So if I jump in here to my name, and I scroll down to the permissions, and I say, I just go to System Basics, and I say password and profile, and I uncheck it, and then I go to the bottom of the page, and I submit this guy. When I go back to the classic home page, I will no longer have password and profile. It is completely gone off my list. So it might look like I have a ton of stuff here, but basically it's all permission based, okay? So remember how we had the bull in the china shop versus the we don't want them there? You can literally take these permissions and you can assign them to certain people. So if you have somebody who's like very basic, say you have a high school student who's gonna help you do some data entry. You're like, you know what, buddy? You're gonna help me do my parts department or something like this. He has 3 little permissions. His little screen is itsy bitsy 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 teeny, and he's happy with it because that's all the permissions that he has. What I wanted to do next was actually show you this little link. There are numbers of ways to get to a homepage. This is called the classic homepage, and it kind of might look busy. You're like, whoa. What we did is when we first did this, we were building new permission after new permission, and so we had to have a way to dynamically allow it to populate. So this was our thing. What we've done recently is if people like more of a button type interface, depending on your permissions, you can have tons and tons of different little permissions. And so like this is more of a touch type interface. We also have this, and we're going to do a lot of training off of this particular one. This is called the interactive map. And so in a nutshell, this is what we do in Adilas. And maybe this is a great time for this right here for just a second. But just to kind of give you guys an idea, this is a little system overview, just so you can have this just kind of in front of you. Go ahead. Yeah, can you help pass that out? That'd be great.
I didn't get a username and password.
No problem. No, I'm just kind of doing a demo right now. We will get you all usernames and passwords. We'll get you in there, okay? So if I wanted to click on deposits, I flip over here and it tells me this. If I click over here to invoices, it tells me this. It allows me to go through things. If I wanted to go to a certain little thing and say I wanted to say, hey, Trinity Fastener, let's go to the edit mode of that. I'm now in edit mode on that particular invoice number, 3,496. If I was anywhere else in the system, this little number is the key to this particular, that particular invoice. So because I'm in edit mode, I have all of these little links that I can go to different little places. So a log under Trinity Fastener, if I click on this, it would jump me right to log notes that we have for Trinity Fastener. Here's some different notes that we've added to Trinity Fastener, just different times we've helped them or different things that they've had, whatever. This is how I track my customers. Okay, this is how we do this type of stuff. These guys sell nuts and bolts, and they use Atlas and they do this and this. The Dewey Decimal System that I was talking about, well, they split things into itsy bitsy teeny. They sell things by the thousands, okay? But if you start trimming off pennies by the thousands, you're losing hundreds of dollars. And so this was actually a company that actually was like, we need that. And so we ended up kind of going in that direction for them. But just as an idea, I can click on the history here. What have we done for these guys? Oh, they currently owe $153. I can click on it and it will take me right to the invoice that they owe me. Oh, looks like it's 4 days old. No big deal. I can wait for that. You know, like it basically has a number of different features that it's allowing me to check. I can even click on, okay, how much have they paid over the years? Oh, they paid about $5,400. And here's all the different little invoices. And here's the ones that are tied to the deposits. Like, I'm kind of skipping around and you might be like, whoa, where are we? This is just a kind of a quick little blah, 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 blah. And then I will slow down, I promise, okay, to kind of take you through this. Every single little report here, it basically kind of comes and runs it down. I can jump anywhere to these things. So say, for instance, I was like, when did I actually create this invoice 3134 for Trinity Fasteners? If I click on history, I'm basically doing what we call a drill down. So a drill down is like, I'm still on 3134, but I went deeper. I wanted to say, hey, what is it that's going on? I can come in and out. Basically, it exists. And we're going to talk about this as far as an item or an object. And then what we do is we track it over time. So according to this one, on the 12th, was created by David. Then they paid, looks like on the, what was it? I can't read it from there. So on the 17th, a couple days later, they paid by check. We then deposited. We then, it basically keeps track of all of these different little pieces in case you wanted to know. This is done behind the scenes. This is a system maintained history. If I popped into this particular deposit, 937, watch this, quick search, deposit, 937, go. Boop. I pop in right here, oh, another trailer company paid us. This is just a small little piece. I pop into the history, and it can tell me exactly who did it, who created it, and how long it took. So it looks like it took Craig a whole whopping minute and a half or so to create this, and eventually it was reconciled in the bank by David. Like, I've got my whole history right there, just as far as who did what and who. Every little piece, we track the history behind the scenes. Like, it might not sound that big of a deal, but this is the audit trail. If you want to know who touched it, guess what? Because you're logged in, I know who you are and what you touch. And so then we basically just kind of track that with these. What I was going to show you here is this chooser page, okay? So anytime you want to get back to the home page, there's a number of different ways. The logo, the home link, and at the bottom of every single page there's a footer as well. So like it doesn't matter which page you're on, there's a little home link. You get to set up your home page. This is a brand new feature we added as of December, okay? Like, I'm talking 2 months ago. Like, this is still drying, the ink on it is still drying. But watch this right here. If I hit chooser, I have 3 different options I can choose as my main spot. Currently, I have this one set as my default. Steve went in the back door and kind of loaded in a bunch of other ones. Say I'm just a person who just all I do is CRM. Who knows what the acronym CRM means? Customer Relationship Management, okay? Say I'm just a person that talks on the phone, or I schedule, or I do this or this. Look at how simple this little interface is. What if that was my home page? Here's all I have to do, watch this. Chooser, once it's been loaded in here, I come down here, this is the CRM homepage, and I say, set this as my default. Click. So now anytime I click on my home link, guess what my little homepage is? You can literally have your own custom interface. If you're a retail person and all you're doing is sales and stuff like this, we could easily set you up a quick little one where you have, what kind of shopping carts do you want? Do you want to do any pop over here? Like, all of a sudden you have this itty teeny little thing, and you're like, oh, cool. So say I wanted to go right here. Oh, quick, let's go check the calendar. If I'm in here and say I'm looking and we don't have anything necessarily going today, but say I popped into this particular one right here with this meeting, this is just a piece from the calendar. At any point in time, because I set that as my new home page, when I go home, either here or whatever, guess what I'm going to land on? Your new interface. So this chooser page is actually huge. There's some untapped potential there as far as like what you can do and what you do.